So for those that are outside today, make sure a couple of things to kind of watch out for. Make sure the surface you're on is nice and flat. You've taken out any rocks that might be under your mat. If you have an outdoor mat, awesome. Another one you could use would be one of your gardening gloves to kind of just protect the hands when we do some floor work today. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to be rolling around down there, but we are going to be doing some planks, push-ups, that kind of stuff. Today's going to be more of a strength conditioning program. So it's a 15-minute work, 4 movements today, and we'll go through that after the warm-up. So without further ado, let's get started on our warm-up. It's going to be 40 seconds each. First one is going to be a shuffle touch with a jump. So this is what it's going to look like. Touch, jump, shuffle, touch, jump. Alrighty, 40 seconds. Get ready in 3, 2, and let's go. Shuffle, both hands touch, jump up. You can also just touch, go on your tippy toe, okay? Just keep moving, get it nice and slow. Just a nice way to get the heart rate warmed up. It's a gorgeous day out. If you are in the sun, make sure we have sunscreen on, your sunglasses, even a hat, just to kind of make sure you're keeping protected. You have 10 seconds to go. You can touch, tippy toe, shuffle over, touch, tippy toe, step, step, touch, jump. And on to the next one is going to be your butt kicks. So stay nice and tall, core stays braced. If the jumping is a no-go, this is what we want. Okay, so we want that heel to touch the bum. Helps us activate the hamstring, especially if you've been sitting most of the morning. So it's just a nice way to wake the calves up, the ankles, hamstrings, getting it going. 5 seconds to go. And then we're gonna go into our crisscross jacks. And this one, crossing over, crossing the feet over. So for those that want a nice alternative to that crisscrossing over, you just step out. But for those that can, we go cross, switch, cross, switch. Once we get that pattern, we can add the hands. Nice and easy. Perfect. Again, alternative 1. 2 would be without the hands. Slowing it down. Patterns in. Okay. Next one, we're gonna go into our lateral lunge. Bring that foot up. We're gonna go single leg. Bring that foot down. Switching to the other side. Knees up. Touch the toe. Back up and down. Switch to the other side. So we're getting the balance here. Whoa. There it is. Big step to the side. Get an adductor stretch there. Knees go up. Nice. Take your time. Find that balance at the top, especially since we're outdoors where the ground's uneven. So it's a great way to kind of give you that stimulus. All right, back into your shuffle touch. One more time. Touch, tippy toe. Touch, tippy toe. If you want, you can also have your hand inside. Be a great way to kind of get that knee tracking that toe. Touch, up. And then you can start to pick up the pace if you want. Breathing. Keep it nice, consistent. Keep that chest up. Last one. Perfect. Back to your butt kicks. So this is where you could start to catch your breath like I'm doing. Or add that nice little hop. Get into the hand drives as well from the side. This is what we look at. Stay tall. Getting that heart rate up and the body nice and warm. Like I said, it's a little windy where I am. It's a little bit chilly outside, but nothing like a bit of activity won't help fix for us. Perfect. 5 seconds, we're gonna go back into our crisscross jack. So here, here, and then we add the arms. For those that wants to stay away from the jumping, here's our alternative. And just to kind of get the hands to that full range. Nice, reaching up as high as we can. Breathing right through that movement. Good. Slow it down if you need to. So it's gonna be in, out. Nice, great work guys. Last one is for that balance to lunge. Balance, lateral lunge, back to your balance. See if we can go into your deadlift. Perfect, from the other side, this is what it's gonna look like. And then we're loading, keep that chest up. Think of the dipping bird when you're going into that single leg toe touch. We wanna keep that chest up, coming down, back up, right before we go into our lunge, right? So everything comes from the hip. We don't wanna be rounding here. We want the movement to come from the hip. Alrighty? Perfect, great work guys. So for this one, we'll do a little bit of mobility. So it's gonna be a nice big lunge back. We're gonna reach up, same arm, same knee. Gonna go on and then reach over. Make sure that back foot's nice and wide. Come back in, switch up. Big reverse lunge, right elbow to right knee, left hand, oh, reaching up. There it is. Slow the movement down. Let's go a couple more. Reaching up first. Get the hip flexors opened up. Good, nice. Let's do the other one. So reverse lunge, reaching up, same elbow to the same knee. We're gonna drop that foot and reach over for that rotation. Let's do one more on each side. Big reverse lunge, arm on the knee, reaching up. Nice. And then last one on this one, okay? Reaching up, elbow on knee, drop that back foot, reaching up, perfect. All right, so let's take a quick minute, grab some water. So for today's workout, it's gonna be 4 movements. You have your alternating deadlift with your backpack, water jug, whatever you have handy. You don't even need a weight if you're good enough for that. So it's gonna be 20 alternating deadlifts with your backpack. So this is what it's gonna look like. Feet together, switching up. So we're gonna do a total of 20 on that one. And then we're gonna go into a squat to halo. So we're gonna squat, go around one way, come back out, do the other way. So we're getting some of that shoulder work as well. So we're gonna do a total of 12. And then we're gonna go into your lateral lunge to overhead press. Again, alternating for a total of 10. Perfect. And then the very last one, we're on our mat. We're gonna do a push-up to the toe touch, right? Alternating each time for a total of 8. You can also come from the knee and then touch that knee and then touch that knee if that pike is gonna be too much. Alrighty? So 15 minutes. We're gonna go through that as many times as we can. It's gonna be 20 alternating single leg deadlifts, 12 squat to halo, alternating as well, lateral lunge to overhead press, alternating, and then your push up to toe touch pike. Alrighty? Get ready in 3, 2, and let's do it. So first one is your deadlift. So just to get that balance out going first, leave the toe dragging on the floor. If that's feeling good, then we can start to lift that leg up. Again, we're thinking of that dipping bird motion where we want that load to come from the hip, right? So from the front. So left side is 1, right side is 2 for a total of 20. If the weight is too much, you can go without. Watch where the hand falls. It should be right about in front of the shin. You're gonna do a total of 20 right there. So next one is gonna be your squat to halo. Now the goal is to keep that chin straight. Most of the time people wanna tuck here and think they're going far, but ideally we wanna be reaching to the back, getting that shoulder into some of that work. Now, if you don't have a backpack, you can grab your water bottle. That works just as well. There we go. Breathing in as you come down. Watch the knee strapping that toe. And here we're gonna do a total of 12. It's gonna be 6 rotations around the head, each way. Perfect. Once it's done, I'm onto my lateral lunges. So, middle, press overhead, switch up, middle, press overhead. So we're loading that hip, right? I wanna keep my chest up, right? My weight mid-foot. I don't want that knee traveling too far forward where my heel starts to come up. I wanna keep this active, and then I'm gonna push the floor away from me to bring my feet together as I press up. When I press up, I don't wanna be reaching back and putting that unnecessary load on my low back, right? So I wanna be down, up, nice and tall. Looking straight ahead as I press that bag overhead. And then same thing, if we don't have the bag, grab your water bottle. And this time you're doing 10 alternating, so there's 5 on each side. Once that's done, we're on the mat, going into your push-up. So from here, I come up, left hand to right toe, if I can. If not, shin. If not, knee. And again, you could also come down to your knee, touch that knee, or you can come back up to your toe, and then opposites into your pyramid. Perfect. So that one is for a total of 8, and then we're back on to our alternating deadlifts. So again, it's a 15-minute workout. We're at about 11 minutes and 30 seconds left. Sorry, alternating deadlifts for a total of 20, single leg deadlifts. Squat to halo for 12. Lateral lunge to overhead for 10, alternating on each side. And then your push-up to toe touch pyramid. So we're gonna go back, feet together. So ideally, we wanna make sure that we're protecting that low back. We're not getting into that excessive curve. Make sure that core is braced and the gut is not spilling over, okay? Breathing right through it. Nice. Welcome, Kira. Come on and jump in. It's a 15-minute workout. So it's an alternating single leg deadlift with whatever load you have. Standing up each time. If you can go and stay on that single leg balance before you bring that foot back, even better. To really work on that balance. Nice. After that one, we're gonna go into your lateral again. Lateral lunge to overhead for a total of 10. Oh, sorry, I skipped my squat to halo, but that's okay. I'll do it on the next round. We're pretty flexible that way. Good. There's my 10. And now I'm gonna go into my squat to halo for 12. Alternating the halo each time. And we want that movement to come from the shoulder joint. So we wanna make sure we keep that chin straight ahead. We're not moving the head around to accommodate the weight or the resistance. Want to make sure going right through it. Perfect. And then we're back on our push-ups. Toe touch. Push-up, opposite. Hand and toe touch for a total of 8. Watch that the chin is not falling forward on the way down, okay? Shoulders nice and active, core is engaged, everything comes down at the same time. Hip and thighs and chest come up at the same time. I push into my downward dog. I touch my opposite foot with my one hand. Breathing in as I come down, breathing out as I come up. Here's my last one. Perfect. Good. So we should be at around third round going into it. We have 8 minutes to go. Breathing right through the movement, taking a break as you need it, grabbing some water in between by all means. So when we're coming down on that deadlift, we don't want to be just falling forward, okay? So you want to be intentional, make sure that we're engaging the glutes, we're stabilizing that knee, because we don't want that knee moving in as we go into our deadlift, our single leg deadlift or single leg toe touch. Want to make sure that that knee and that toe stays tracking. Make sure the hip stays square to the ground. We don't want to be opening up unnecessarily or turning or crossing that leg over. Okay, so we want to make sure we're staying nice and square. So go as slow as you need to. Make sure we're breathing right through. We're not holding our breath. As soon as you hold your breath, balance is bound to go. Everything tightens up as soon as that breathing stops. So make sure you keep that breathing consistent. And I think this is my last 2. And then now I'm into my squat to halo. Staying nice and tall at the top. Reaching behind you. So this is what the bag looks like from behind me. Breathing in, breathing out, bringing it around. So you should be feeling that nice stretch on the lats as we come around. And I keep my head nice and tall. I don't want to be moving my head around. Ideally, I want the shoulders to do the work for me. Okay, now we're gonna go into our lateral lunge, overhead press. You have 6 minutes, guys, you got this. Breathing in, big breath out. Breathing in, feet together if you want, and then press out. Standing nice and tall. I'm reaching up overhead. I don't want to be bringing this behind me because the tendency is I'm going to be arching my back. So I want to make sure everything stays in line. That bag just goes over my head. I'm pushing it to the ceiling as I go through it. 5 minutes to go, guys. Should be able to get about 4 rounds on this one at least. If you're a rock star that you are, watching quality over quantity again. So we don't need to go fast if the technique is starting to break down. Take your breaks in between as needed. From the push-up, you can come down to your knee, get into your child's pose, drop down to your knee if you need to. Make sure we're active on the floor with the push-up. So the shoulder stays away from ears. I'm actively pushing against the floor to create that shoulder stability on my push-up. Mid-palm, mid-chest at the bottom, right? 45 degrees on the hand. We don't want to be up here. We don't want to be too narrow either. Want to be about there to give us nice activation on the pecs. Perfect. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go, guys. Let's see if we can put in another round. Slow and control to add some time under tension. Loading that hip a bit more. Smooth as you come up. Whoa, and I'm losing my balance. And that's what happens when you rush it. So you gotta make sure we're staying consistent with the tempo. Breathing in, big breath out. And again, if that leg extension is causing us to do a lot of the wobbling, keep that toe down. You can soften the knee a bit more. Hips go back, shoulder comes forward. Arms stay straight in front of you. Perfect. Breathing in, big breath out. Here we go, back into our squats. So with the squat, we're sitting back. I come up, and then I go around. Squat, breathe in, breathe out. There's a great way to open up that shoulder as well. Get the posture going, especially if you've been sitting in front of your computer hunched over like this. This one is a great way to kind of get you opening up here. Just really watching out for that alignment again and making sure that we're keeping that core active and braced. Now, it doesn't have to be like we're clenching like that. I want to make sure everything from the collarbone up stays relaxed as we breathe right through the motion. Alrighty, same with your lateral lunges. Now the only way I go deeper into my lunge is if I sink my hip in, keeping my chest up still, into the upright position right before I press on overhead. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. 4 movements, going through it as many times as we can in 15 minutes. Alrighty, so you have your alternating single leg deadlifts that we've done for a total of 20. We did our squat to halo for 12. That lateral lunges I just finished for a total of 10. Switching up each side. And now we're back into our favorite push-ups. So, wrist underneath that shoulder. Get tall, tuck that chin in. Back of the head towards the ceiling or the sky. I come down at the same rate. Big breath out. Touch my opposite toe with my one hand. If the toe is too much, get your shin or come and grab your knee. And then again, the alternate is from the knee. Come sit that bum back into your child's pose. Touching opposite knee with that one hand for a total of 8. Drive the hip back. Here's my last one. Perfect. And then we're back on. We have a minute left to go. Again, watching for quality of movement. I know the time is now is a constraint, but make sure quality over quantity will be what we're looking out for, right? Proficiency in the movement will help us transfer it better to our everyday life, right? Preparing you a little bit more as you're going about your daily task, right? So, here we go. Around the head, 20 seconds to go. Let's finish up where we're at, and then we'll go and do some core activation and finishers right before we send you back out to enjoy the rest of your day. 10 seconds to go, guys. Breathing right through it. Keep that chest up. Drop the weight. you want to pick up the pace a little bit so you can still keep an eye on your form. Finishing up in 3, 2, 1, and we are done. Great work, team. Catch your breath, grab some water. If you have your mat handy, we're gonna go on that one, and we'll finish off with some nice core workout and some hip and shoulder stability on there. Alrighty, so this is what we're gonna do on this one. So we're gonna come back into our laying position, driving the hip up, hands go up top, and we're gonna go into our march for a total of 20 on each side. If we need to take a break, you can put that hand down, come back down, shake it off, come back up, and we're gonna go back for a total of, like I said, 20 on each side. After that, we're gonna come into your plank position. We're gonna go into your mountain climbers, 20 on each leg again. And then we're gonna go into your shoulder taps for a total of 20. So 3 movements. We're gonna start with our single leg march, okay? Whenever we're ready, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, single leg march. Total of 40, hands can be up here. Making sure that that core is nice and engaged, right? Low back flat on the ground. Drive that hip up, tailbone to the ceiling. That helps protect the low back. And then we're gonna march it out, shifting that weight onto the leg that's down, bringing that knee to chest, keeping that hip nice and square to the ceiling or to the sky. Breathing right through it. We're gonna go into our 20 here. Keeping that core braced as much as possible. We don't want to be arching that back and putting a lot of strain on that low back. If that happens, bring it back down. Tailbone up a little bit first before we bring the rest of the hip up. You should be feeling this on the glute and on the hamstring. Breathing right through it. Again, we don't want to see fast. We want smooth, concise movements. Relax the neck, relaxing that breathing. Perfect. So when we're ready, we're on to our mountain climbers for 20 on each side. So nice and tall position, shoulders underneath that, elbow underneath the shoulders. My bad. Posterior tilt on that hip. Knees to elbow on this one. Again, we don't want to go fast. I want to keep that hip as steady as I can. We don't want to be seeing this. Okay, so toes off to knee. Slow and controlled. 20 on each side here. So a total of 40 again. If we need to take a break, down on the knee, child's pose. You can also modify it to come from the knee. Lift one toe up, in, back down, in, extend, back down. Right? Shake the shoulders off, get back into it. Nice and slow marching. We want that core engaged and active. So 20 on each side again. Come into your child's pose when you're done. And then we're gonna do our last one with the shoulder taps. So whenever we're ready, after those two, from the toe again, feet wide as the mat. You want your hands a little bit closer together, slow and steady. We don't want to be going into the side one. Okay, so keep the hip nice and square, in line with the shoulder, smooth and controlled. This was just for a total of 20, just to finish the shoulder off, get the core activated, touching opposite shoulder each time. Make sure the hands are closer together to give you a nice tripod position. Feet as wide as your mat. Posterior tilt on the core. You got this. Nice, breathing right through it. Awesome, guys. Good stuff. Good job, guys. So once we're done, we're gonna go into our up, down dog and child's pose. Drop to the knee, get into your child's pose. So we're gonna do that 2 more times, and then we're gonna stretch that hip flexors out and the hamstring. Slow down the breathing at each point. Shoulders still active on the floor. Driving tailbone to the ceiling, heel pushing down to the floor. We're back into our all fours. Come up onto our knee, 1 foot forward. I'm gonna do it this side so you can kind of see my hips. So I want a posterior tilt. I'm gonna drive my hip forward, and then I'm gonna sit it back and get my hamstring. Breathing right through that. Going back forward, and then sitting back. Try and keep that chest up and the hips square. As soon as we hike up that one hip, we lose a little bit of the stretch from the hamstring. So we're gonna do, here's the last one. We're gonna come back, and then we're gonna switch up. So posterior tilt, drive my hip forward. We're gonna sit back, get that stretch on the hamstring, keep your chest up. Driving forward again, opening up the hip flexors. Here's another option where you can reach up and reach over and get that whole side opened up. So the psoas, your hip flexors, the quads, sitting back, toes come up, chest stays up, feeling that hamstring kick in. And then we're gonna add one more time. Drive that hip forward, and then sitting back into that hamstring. So, and then one more thing before I let you go, we're gonna do the adductor. So I'm gonna come in into my quadruped position. So all fours, I'm gonna extend that 1 foot. I'm gonna drive this hip towards the opposite knee. So I'm driving it in this position, and I'm gonna rock back and forth and get that nice little stretch on the adductors. If we're still not feeling it there, you can move that foot out a bit more. Drive that hip back into the opposite knee. Breathing in as you come up, breathing out as you come down. So let's do about 3 rocks on each side, and I'll show you this one from the side. So from the side, this is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna extend that leg, drive this hip towards this knee, keep my spine nice and tall, nice and long as I rock back and forth, and I get that nice stretch on the inside. And breathing right through that. Perfect. One more time. Good. And then we're gonna finish off with some of our favorite cat-cows. We're gonna go 3 here. And then we're gonna do a nice threading the needle to reach up. Switching sides each time. Want a little bit more thoracic stretch. We're gonna sit that bum back, and you get a nice stretch on that side as well. And then we're gonna do our last one on here, breathing in, big breath out. Back in, and great work, team.